Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for June 2020. Because it is general, the messages will not resonate with everyone, so please check back to your rising and your moon sign. I am going to be using today the Radiant White deck. We'll be clarifying with La Vida Sibila. We will pull either an angel answer or a romance angel, and maybe both, depending on what the cards say. But we will most definitely wrap the reading up with the Golden Nostradamus card, okay? So I've already done some shuffling and meditation on your sign and your glyph. So I'm going to stop the camera and turn the computer around, and then we'll get started with the reading. So see you in a bit. Okay, I am back. Let me make an adjustment. I'm waiting on a new laptop stand because this one, I've had it forever and it's old and it's broken. And this is a brand new laptop and I want to make sure it don't fall off my table. So, we just had our full moon solar eclipse on the 5th. We will have another eclipse coming up. As you know, eclipses come in pairs. And, well, if you don't know, you do now, right? And we will have our new moon solar eclipse on the 21st. And that is the day after, or the day of the summer solstice, day after, depending on where you are, where the sun will be moving into Cancer. We have an extraordinary amount of planets in retrograde. I think I just posted an article up about that. I'm not even sure. If I haven't, I will be. But do know that Mercury is going to be going retrograde, I think, on the 17th or the 18th, and it will be stationing retrograde at 14 Cancer. So the next, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks, you can expect for some of you any messages to do with property, home, homeland, a town, city, country, state, women, children, anything that you've been trying to get done or that you got in the works, maybe going backwards and forward. So try to make allowances for that. This could even be travel, so try to make allowances back and forth for that. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and put the 9 cards down and we will get started with the reading. Page of Cups, the Moon, and the Ace of Pentacles. Well, that's very interesting, Capricorn. Very, very interesting. So some offer has come to you over this full moon lunar eclipse. An opportunity, either financial or to do something a new way. Knight of Cups. So that tells me that the stakes have been raised in this message because we go from a page to a knight. The reverse 7 of Pentacles. I don't know if maybe this is saying if this was a financial thing, the offer came through, it was bumped up, but there's something not quite right about maybe the amount. There is the Hierophant. Interesting. The 9 of Cups. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, the reverse 2 of Cups. There you have it. There you have it. Now that I'm looking at this could also be some kind of romantic situation. Reverse King of Swords. So I have 3 court cards here. 1, 2, 3. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cups, 2 major arcana, and 2 pentacles. What is underneath the deck? The Devil. And you know, this Devil card has been coming out, I think, over the last 3 or 4 readings. First of all, the Devil represents the planet of Saturn, and Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. He spends 2 years in each sign. So he's just left Capricorn and he has moved into Aquarius. Um, Saturn represents restrictions, delays, um, borders. In other words, maybe the shutting down of borders or the non-crossing of borders. He is the taskmaster, so he can make things quite difficult. But if there's any sign that is able to take a difficulty and turn it around into an opportunity, it is the sign of Capricorn. You are the goat, and the goat continually climbs. The mountain goat um, can navigate tough terrain and get all the way to the top and back down again, and it's got ins and outs. So I just get the sense for some of you, this offer and this contractual issue, because this is what the Hierophant represents. The Hierophant represents, well, not necessarily contractual issues. The Hierophant represents um, organizations, those things with a hierarchy, right? It also represents, as a person, somebody who has some kind of authority, who can disseminate out information. He also, because he's ruled by the sign of, or he represents the sign of Venus, Venus rules your second house of personal wealth or personal possessions. So he also is about your values and your value system. Now, whenever the Hierophant crops up, when for me in a reading, it always portends some kind of contractual issue, okay? Um, and that's how it's feeling now. But I also get that whatever this offer is for others of you that comes in, it seems promising, and then somebody reneges on it. Okay, and we see it here. We see that there's some kind of argument or disagreement, or perhaps your values don't match up here. So, coming on the future bottom row, yeah, maybe everything you've ever wanted, but it's going to require you perhaps to agree to or do something, or contract in a way in which maybe somebody else is not, what do you call it, is not agreeing to. Okay. Um, the devil can be, he represents the third dimension. So we're talking about all of those earthly things and earthly pleasures that we enjoy as humans. All work, no play. So he's about, food, drink, sex, partying, clothes, cars, all of those things that we enjoy and we partake in of the earthly pleasures. But he also, there's a danger because you can be tempted by certain things, as well as you can end up becoming chained and or committed to something that may not be any good to you. I'm not exactly sure why the devil has come out. But at the same time, there's three people here. Now, what is interesting to me is that these two characters are the opposite of each other. Can you see that? You've got two people here, two people there. I can't figure out where I'm pointing. All right. Instead of keys here, you have a lock, so to speak. And it's almost as if it's saying that whatever you're locked into, you might be able to negotiate, because Venus also rules negotiations. Now, but Venus is, I think, retrograde in Gemini and maybe coming out very soon. But the keys here, okay, may be the keys that you need to unlock yourself or unchain yourself from this situation. The other thing about the Devil card is that it also says that no matter what situation you find yourself in, you are not chained or bound in such a way that you can never get out of it. Now, that means normally, I think, sometimes that you have to give up something. And it may be difficult for us to give it up because we have this attachment to it. Yes? So the first thing I'm going to do is to look at I have 1, 2, 3 pip cards, 4 pip cards that I can actually look at as they relate to these two major arcana cards. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the Ace of Pentacles next to either the Devil, the Hierophant, and or the, what do you call it? The Moon card. Because there's something about this Moon card that Well, I'm going to have to look at that in another way because I don't see anything directly related to it. So we will move to the Seven of Pentacles to see if it tells us anything um, related to Fortune, Nine of Cups. It indicates that now is a good time to make important decisions and make good, solid investments. Positive action taken at this time will lead to fruition of your goals and just rewards for efforts. This is the Seven of Pentacles next to the Nine of Cups. Now, as I say, this is general, so, that's not going to be true for everybody because we see here this crossways. This is an indirect influence, right? Let's take a look at the Two of Cups and then the Nine of Cups. What it can say. Now, interestingly, the Two of Cups can be signifying a contractual agreement and or meetings between business partners that are imminent. I don't know who this guy is. That's the Two of Cups, and it doesn't tell me any extra information next to these two. And the Nine of Cups doesn't have any information next to these two cards. What I can say is I do believe that somebody has reneged on something. Whatever this offer is, I think it has called into question either your beliefs, your belief systems, or your values. Now, this could also be about your self-worth. Maybe for some of you, this offer that comes in, this message that comes in, is kind of with this and this combined is sort of like a confirmation of whatever your skills are or whatever it is you've been trying to do. But at the same time, the fact that this horse has not stepped across that stream tells me that it's always been something that's tentative. I think for some of you it came as a surprise, unexpected, perhaps around this full moon. But there's something wrong with the financial aspect of it. Okay, there's something not right with it. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this Seven of Coins to see if it can tell me what is really up with this. Okay. And I don't know if some of you, there's something about the Hierophant that he's trying to tell me as well. For some of you who may have accepted this offer, there is something, you have accepted it, and there is something that you haven't been told about it yet. That's what it says. Doesn't necessarily mean that anything's going to be, as I say, that you can't get out of it. This could be one of those situations where you accepted the offer, and it's now going to be like doing a deal with the devil. Okay? One of those things. My grandma used to say, you go to bed with dogs, you get up with fleas, right? The Gran Consolazione, the Bambino, and the Lamante. Quite interesting, because what these three cards are saying. The Gran Consolazione speaks to good fortune, not necessarily good fortune, but harmony and success in all areas of your life. There's love, there's finances, there's achievements, okay? However, the baby comes in to state that this is a situation yet that has not come to fruition. There is a Queen of Coins here, the Lamante, this female lover. This is going to be somebody who is gentle, kind, and caring. I don't see anything negative in the sense that maybe there's a financial issue here. Sometimes it could be somebody who might be sort of like a gold digger. You want to be cautious, but she hasn't shown up reversed. So I don't know. So this could be a situation in which you may be asked or called into question, or maybe there's a relationship that has been presented to you where it might offer you the opportunity to do everything in the world that you want to do. It brings you everything you've ever dreamed of, hoped of, worked for your whole life. But that's a commitment, yes. Okay, that's what the devil is about. Those things we chain ourselves to or commit to. Um, but obviously, there's something not quite right here. And I would be extremely wary of this guy. So if this is a new relationship, whether it is business, friendship, or even a marriage proposal, be very cautious. Be very, very cautious. Okay. I've seen this combination come in sometimes. The Ace of Coins, the Knight of Cups, and the Hierophant to come in to say it is a marriage for money or relationship for money based upon financial interest alone. Okay. But let's look at this Two of Cups here. Reversed. Sospiri. Militare. Superbia. Now that's an interesting combination. I don't know if maybe I think somebody's got reneged. I think somebody has gotten cold feet, so to speak. The reason why I say this is because the Sospiri, this is the card of anxiety and waiting and being forlorn about maybe a missed opportunity or an opportunity that you think you missed. And what's interesting about this card is the arrow above her head tells us where the trouble or the sadness is coming from. And it is this character of the militare. Now, typically this will represent somebody who's in a uniform or wears a uniform. He can actually be a soldier, but he can also be any profession in which there is either intellect that is used in their profession or the use of sharp instruments and utensils. But this card, the Superbia, is rather interesting, and I'm going to have to look up exactly what this is telling me. It is, in a sense, one of the most luckiest cards in the Sibila deck, but it can speak to vanity and people who are obsessed with their appearance or maybe who are extremely proud in some way. It always speaks to me. The peacock is the male peacock is the showiest of the birds, so it always speaks to me about a male. Okay, but I'm going to have to look at that to see exactly what this is telling me. Now, what I want to do, and I'm going to pull, I don't know if this is somebody that you met and you discover that the person is in a relationship already. Maybe there's a silent partner, so to speak. Okay, but I'm going to look at happening around this full moon eclipse. So something was hidden from you, something that you did not see. And I'm going to go back and see if I can find out any information about the Seven of Pentacles as it relates to a relationship. I'm going to look at this reverse King of Swords. Di leggerezza. The desperate jealousy. And the Vecchia Signora. She is not a person in this sense. This is coming across in a very rare instance of being a situation. Let me get so that I can pull out this. What I want to look at is this Superbia. It is I don't even know if that's a 2 of Wands, a 7 of Wands, clubs, I don't know. I think it's a 2. Yeah, it's a 2. It is the 2. It represents a conquest happiness, and a lasting union. Well, that's not so with this card, because what this card tells me, well, it's the Ten of Clubs, so to speak. It is the carefreeness card. Okay? It indicates a small setback. Now, it says another important meaning of this card is recklessness, impulsiveness, and careless mistakes that will cause you much grief in the future. Imprudence and recklessness, frivolity, superficial interest in something, and a lack of commitment. Now, I don't know what this is about. Let me take a look here at this Eight of the Piche, the Swords, because it is the card of being consumed with jealousy. It indicates not seeing beyond the present moment or even being stuck in the past, and unable to resolve a problem without finding the necessary inner resources. It can even point to substance abuse. It also symbolizes an advanced stage and warns of a toxic environment and toxic people around you. You may even feel that you are surrounded by someone who's nice and that there is nothing in the environment that is toxic, but invariably this will be false, as it will reveal that these nice people were deeply envious and have been scheming behind your back to cause you ruin. It indicates treachery, slander, gossip, and envy, and it warns of danger coming from your circle of acquaintances. In love, it indicates extreme jealousy, envy, and possessiveness, as well as a selfish love centered around self-gratification or social climbing. It states that love, if it can be called that, comes with a heavy price to pay in any kind of relationship, and it indicates a lack of trust and a loss of self-respect. Here it is. And that's who this is. Now, as I was telling you that this card is showing up in the rare sense of being, it's a Two of Spades, a situation. Because it represents a stale and stagnant situation which offers neither satisfaction nor growth. It represents an involution rather than an evolution, and represents someone who is regressing rather than evolving. Ideologically, it represents fundamentalism, hypocrisy, pettiness, avarice, very conservative views, prejudice, and intolerance towards others and new situations, and the inability to accept change and a lack of security. It can represent the past in the form of mistakes, occurrences, or people that come out of the woodwork reappearing to influence the present moment or the future. In love, it can represent a separation, a dying love. It also indicates a chaotic family environment without structure or family traditions. With a partner, it indicates setbacks in relationships, usually caused by crystallization and reversion into past patterns of behavior, and of failing to adopt new strategies to salvage the relationship. It also indicates past mistakes in the relationship that are difficult to forget. That's what it's telling me. I don't know if this person is coming back into your life or has come back. You have heard from this individual, but the truth of the matter is the person hasn't changed. And in fact, they may be coming back, so to speak, to kind of rehash old events. I don't have any repeater numbers in this. No, I do not. Let me give you the reverse King of Swords, and this will tell you about this person. So I do want you to be careful. For some of you, I think this may be somebody brand new that you just met underneath this Mercury retrograde. Underneath this full moon eclipse. Do know that the individual is not who they appear to be. The Keywords for the reverse King of Swords is unfairness, restrictions, injustices, sternness, cruelty, coldness, calculating, manipulative, sarcastic, and sarcasm. It may represent an overbearing and stern partner, husband, father, or male counterpart. It may be warning of someone who may have a negative influence in your life at this time. He is most likely a mature man who at times can act cruelly and unjustly. In regards to legal matters of all kinds, this is cautioning you about your case or your side. You need to check and recheck all of the details, as there may be some mistrust or misinformation that may be detrimental. It depicts someone who is callous and malicious and who enjoys upsetting people and causing disharmony. He is inclined to be strict and uncompromising, lacks compassion, and can be quite the bully. He has a tendency to upset people without regard. It is a symbol of someone who dislikes losing at all times and will go out of his way to manipulate and cause upset. The person enjoys their own power trip and can act as the intimidator and or bully. It is an indication that you have been or are going to be double crossed or an injustice done to you. It indicates that you may be involved with a man who is tyrannical in his behavior and who has become detached from his emotions. He enjoys imposing his will regardless of others. Although this man may appear calm and confident on the outside, on the inside, he has feelings of great unhappiness. He is a very unpleasant character who can be dangerous to know and is best avoided in all avenues of life. He will be intelligent and independent, but cruel and explosive in nature. And he will choose to exploit those weaker than himself. This is someone who is strong-willed and may come in and attempt to take control of a situation. The person is overbearing and obnoxious. It may also be indicating an argument or disagreement or a situation where a solution, a compromise cannot be found. This is a warning. Because now that I'm reading this, what that tells me is the devil card has shown up to say that this is somebody who's going to come in and they have a real power and control issue. And this will literally be like doing a deal with the devil. I would think that even if you just went out on a date with this person, this is going to be somebody that it's going to be difficult to shake. And then once you try to explain to them the way that you feel about them or the situation, they're going to turn ugly and nasty. And it's going to take a minute for you to get away from this person. So I really don't know what to tell you about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull an angel answer card. Please formulate your question for the angel answer. I think the person pretends to be one way, but it's completely another way. Yeah? And maybe at the moment, the feelings are so good because all of these, oh my God, he's a dream come true. It's almost like he's it's too good to be true. Usually it is. Okay? And remember that whenever we are in relationship with someone, no matter what type of relationship, we enter into it because there's some kind of reciprocal thing that we're getting out of it. Right? There's always something in it for everybody. The card says unlikely. I don't know if y'all just asked, is she wrong? I don't know. Romance angels. Now, I don't know if this guy has somebody in his past as well that may resurface. Okay? There definitely could be 3 people here, for sure. And there's some kind of contractual issue, some kind of commitment involved in this. This could be one of the cases where you might be jumping into something and you don't know exactly what's happening, that you haven't been told the truth of the situation. I don't care how good they've been making you feel. Very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Now let's see if Nostradamus can see some things that we cannot see. Because the cards are being somewhat cryptic. They're not giving out all of the information, right? If I had to just say, let your spidey senses do the work, it would be this reverse King of Swords. I'm just glad that the Letterato didn't come out on top of him. because then you'd really be in some, might really be in some trouble. Okay, here we go. I'm not sure if that's the tree or the star. It's number 3. So let me start with the unlikely card first. All right. The situation you have asked about is unlikely to occur as you are imagining it. There may be a different version of events that will take place, or it may be that what you have asked about is simply not in your highest, greatest good. Place your focus on an alternative possibility. Open your eyes to different opportunities and be willing to experience a unique and more uplifting outcome than what you have planned for yourself. I think that card is trying to tell you that this ain't going to go the way that you think it is. Okay? So, you might need to start thinking about this in a different manner very soon. Very soon. You very soon. This card asks you, what do you want, and demands very clear and specific answers. Just like putting in your order at a restaurant, the universe has been listening to your thoughts and feelings about your love life and has brought you what you asked for. However, when you complain about what's being served to you, it's only because you placed an unclear order. As soon as you are perfectly straightforward about what it is you desire, it comes to you upon the wings of angels in an instant. You drew this card because it is time for you to get clear and honest with yourself and formulate your requests with faith and optimism. Trust your feelings and make decisions for yourself about what is best for you. The cards are really being quite specific. Actually, it's neither the star nor the tree. It is called the thorns. The only certainty in our earthly lives is that they go on as a war. This card may be the harbinger of bad news or mourning, or a simple difficulty that will cause pain. The wound will prick you like a thorn in your serenity or in your body. I don't think you can get more warnings than that. So I do, you're free to do whatever you want to do. But if you're not exactly sure what you should do, take a step back, ask your angels or ask your guides to show you what you need to see. But I personally, myself, I would tell you to stay away from this person. That's what I have for you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for June. I hope this message helped. And until next time, namaste.